Hi again, everybody. My name is Greg Anderson, and this is the Good Timekeeping Show with Greg Anderson. That's the name of the show. I get some comments now and then from folks who ask me, they say, Greg, we've seen these watch cases that you show when you're showing us your watches, and where do you get those cases? Those cases look very interesting. And I think, well, of course I got them off the internet. And I don't think that much about them because it seemed like they were easy to find. So I kind of neglected to explain where to get the cases. So let me just show you one I've got here. This is one of the bigger ones. Holds 24 watches. Okay, and the first time I got one of these was about the middle of the year 2018, and honestly, it cost about $22 off Amazon. So the same exact listing. If I go back and say, buy it again, look at my order history and say, let's buy that again. This one now is like $42. So I know inflation is out there, but that's a lot. I wonder, and I don't mean to sound too arrogant, but did the fact that I show these off on my channel, did that raise demand so much that now they've almost doubled in price? Oh, no, I don't think that's it. But what I found when I looked around, Amazon, eBay, kind of the first places maybe that you'd go looking for something like this. If you just look up watch case, you start to see a bunch of options. Some of them, they brag that they're made of, special materials, some sort of special leather. I'm sure there's nothing too special about the material that is used to make this. And after a couple of years, there's already a little bit of wear and tear here on the corners. So obviously this is kind of, maybe some type of wood or something like that with a kind of a vinyl fake leather coating, and it's fine, and if it starts to wear out, I'll get another one. I use these. I like this because it has, the clear glass, and that feels like real glass. Obviously very thin, nothing here. I don't expect it to be real high grade, but for $22 at the time, or somewhere between $22 and $42, there may be a range there. I figured it was worth it to help me organize these watches, because before I had a case like this, honestly, my watches would just kind of sit on the nightstand, or maybe in my office, kind of on the desk or on the hutch there, or some shelf, and they were kind of scattered around and not very well organized. Just take the watch off and sort of leave it on its side on a shelf. No big deal, because I didn't have that many of them. But when I started to get a large collection, then I realized, okay, I got to do something about this, and that's where the case came up. Now, if you were to look around, you're going to see lots of options. So some will claim to have higher quality materials, maybe kind of a dual deck sort of thing, or maybe a drawer that comes out the bottom and you can put other things in there, and not just be a watch case, but could be you leave your car keys in there. I don't know, just whatever you want. They're also different sizes. So of course there's 24. Here's one that holds 12. So I got one of these. I think you can also get one that holds 10, and here's one that holds just 6. And these are all very similar, even though I think I got these maybe through an eBay seller and not the same brand name, but I don't really know the brand names make too much of a difference. But the material seems to be the same stuff as the larger case, just that it opens up differently. And these little things you put the watch on, they're referred to as pillows. For the most part, I'm getting the same exact pillows, same shape and size, but more recently I bought a 24 watch case with a different listing on Amazon, and the pillow is different. It's still that oval shape, but it looks just like it's longer, and I know that the watches fit on there differently. So I kind of reserve these larger pillows for the bigger watches, kind of the bigger watch bracelets and things, and they tend to fit better on there. If I put this watch on a smaller pillow, then it kind of slides around and doesn't stick on there very well. So on the one hand, I do prefer this first version of the pillows that I got, and that works well with most of my watches. But with the larger ones, these larger pillows are okay. So you're going to see some variation, I suppose, because there are a lot of these out there, you know, different brand names and different styles and stuff. But for me, basically, they're all about the same when I buy them like this. You know, obviously the same pillows in most of them. I'm about to maybe buy another one because my collection continues to grow. And rather than go for this one, same one from Amazon, and pay $42 for it, we found one that was somewhere kind of right in the middle of that range between 22 and 42, because we really can't find these anymore this size at $22. And that's just what's happening with the economy these days, I guess, and you know, that's a whole different subject. But what can I tell you about these? Well, this one I like. It's really nice. It's got a little latch here that kind of, you know, shuts well, and there's even a little key. It comes with a key. I didn't smash my finger. I'm okay. So you can actually lock that. I don't necessarily want to lock this, so but now that I've got more than one of these, I keep the key, you know. I keep more than one key around just in case there's any kind of accident. But for me and the way I keep these, no need to lock that, but there is a way you can lock that. And I'm not sure that that's the greatest lock. Maybe you could pick that with just, you know, a toothpick or whatever, but has the lock there. And this one has this, my fingers are okay. This metal piece here that keeps it from opening too far and kind of holds it in place when it's sitting on a tabletop, and folds back down. And you know, it couldn't be more simple than that. Now I like the fact that it has this glass top because light gets through there. A lot of my watches are solar powered, and I've decided that, you know, if you want to keep your watch in a dark drawer when you're not wearing it, maybe solar powered watches aren't the best watch for you. So with this, however, I can leave this out. I can even leave the lid closed and just leave it out, you know, on a shelf or a countertop, and just so it gets enough exposure to just everyday lighting in the room. And so I think that's done well for letting my watches stay charged as though I were wearing them. If I leave this out, then it gets just as much light as if I were just wearing it casually around as I go. So that's what I like about these. Pretty simple. I think if you have a large collection, it's worth the investment because they do keep these things, keep your watches nicely organized, and it's very easy to take an entire box out from your closet or whatever and leave it out during the day, put it away at night, whatever you want to do with that. You can stack them up. You can do a lot of things with these cases. And I know most people, they don't have a collection of more than, say, 20 watches. And I know there are people who maybe they say, well, I'm only going to have 20 watches, and if I decide to get more, I will then sell or trade some that I already have. So, you know, their watches are coming and going, but the total that I'm always going to keep is only going to be 20. If that's what you do, that's fine. So far, I have not figured out a way to make me sell watches or otherwise get rid of watches. I've actually given a couple watches away because I'm super generous, and I maybe bought the watch with the intention of giving it away. But for the most part, I acquire and I keep watches. So having cases like this has really been good for me, and I'm glad you're interested. Those of you who've been asking about these, I really think for the price, I always say that in those internet reviews, for the price, it's good. I would say for the price, you really can't go wrong. Now, if you want to get one that's really fancy and costs $80 or something like that, you know, maybe you need to be a little more careful about it. And maybe that would be appropriate if your watch collection is full of really super expensive watches. Now, I've chosen the size of case that holds 24 or 12 or 6. I don't have any that hold 10. And you may be thinking, well, what if my whole collection is 25 watches? What do I do? You know, what combination of these cases can I get that's going to have 25 slots? And I really don't know what to tell you. You could get the 24 watch case and then just keep the other watch on your wrist, or maybe let that be the one watch that sits on your nightstand, or maybe, you know, kind of a rotating watch that sits on the nightstand, and the other 24 will stay in the case. I don't know what to tell you, because with me, you know, if I were to get another case for 24 watches, and let's say I'm only going to put 10 watches in it, well, that means that at some point sooner or later, I'm going to have to get 14 more watches. I can't have a case that's only partially full. But that's just me. You don't have to be like that. So, again, that's just, I encourage you to shop around, see what you like, go ahead and get it. Don't be afraid. Don't pay too much money, and keep those watches well organized, because that's fun. In fact, I've got another video about watch organization, and I'm going to release that real soon. So please stay tuned for more episodes of the Good Timekeeping Show.